What's up, guys? In today's Tekken 7 tutorial, I want to talk about getting up off the ground. I know for new players, this can be something that they really struggle with, and sometimes it feels like you get knocked down and then you just get hit a bunch and you die before you can get back up and recover. So there's a ton of different options when you're knocked down in this game, but I'm going to talk about what I think are the safest and kind of most useful ones, the ones you should be going to the most. So the first one is ground tech. If you get knocked down, you can tap 1 to ground tech into the background, or you can tap 3 to ground tech into the foreground. So these are really safe, and they're very fast. You get off the ground quickly. And these have no vulnerable frames. You're invincible during the get up animation. So I would say in situations where you can ground tech, you should pretty much always be doing it. At least while you're a new player, that should be your go-to. But unfortunately, you cannot ground tech everything. For example, throws cannot be ground tech. You just lay on the ground. And the same for pretty much any attack where you kind of get slammed to the ground instead of just getting knocked to the ground. You cannot ground tech. So that's when you're going to be fully lying on the ground, and you're going to have to decide what to do next. So one nice thing is in training mode, if I go to restart settings, I can set player status to down. Now whenever I restart, I'm going to be laying down. So I recommend that you do this too to practice these different options. First of all, when you're laying on the ground, you can just tap up to get straight up. This is pretty good. It's fairly safe. Unlike ground teching, there are some vulnerable frames while you're getting up, so you can get hit, but it's a tight window. Generally, that's going to be pretty safe. You can roll in a direction. If you press forward, you roll forward. If you press back, you roll back. It's not really a roll in this game. You just kind of get up backwards. These are a lot less safe than just getting straight up. You can get hit out of the getting up backwards animation, or especially the getting up forwards animation has a lot of vulnerable frames. So I would say, in general, you should probably just not do these if you can help it. It's a lot safer to just get straight up. I would recommend against rolling forward or backward. If you tap 1, you'll roll into the background and get up. If you tap down +1, you'll roll into the foreground and get up. These are also pretty safe. It's basically the same as getting up, except you lay on the ground a little bit longer. If you're against the wall and you want to roll away, I think this is fine to go for that. You can also get up with attacks. If you press 3 while you're on the ground, you'll get up with a low. If you press 4, you'll get up with a mid. These are pretty risky. I would say treat it kind of like a wake-up dragon punch in Street Fighter. If you're in a situation where you really need to get out of pressure, it can be good. But they are very punishable. If the opponent sees it coming, you can get hit out of it. You can get comboed. You can get low parried if you do the low one. So I would say use it sparingly. It is a good tool to go to occasionally, but don't let it become your go-to. What I think is the most safe option when you're lying on the ground is actually to let yourself get hit. I know it seems counterproductive, but you can't be juggled while you're lying on the ground. You can only kind of take stray hits. So if you get hit once, you can actually ground tech after. So you can see my character did a ground tech, or you can do it into the foreground as well. So this is the most safe, is let yourself take 1 hit and then ground tech. Second most safe is probably just get straight up. So those, I would say, are your 2 kind of options you should be going to the most. So just to run down again, what I think kind of your order of operations should be is the one you should want to do the most is ground teching. It's by far the most safe. But again, you can't ground tech everything. And sometimes you just miss it. You miss the input. So if you find yourself in a situation where you can't ground tech, you're laying on the ground, I would say most safe is let yourself get hit and then ground tech. Second most safe is just to get straight up. And then a lot riskier, but still sometimes useful, is getting up with attacks. So that's pretty much it, guys. Again, I recommend you go into training mode, you try this out for yourself, so that when you're in the heat of a match, you'll remember kind of what buttons to press. Most important thing is don't panic. When you start panicking and mashing and all this stuff when you're on the ground, that's usually when you tend to get re-juggled by the opponent, and you just kind of get put in this vortex of getting knocked down over and over again. So don't panic, guys. It's all going to be fine. Keep yourself safe, and have a good one. Thank you very much for watching the tutorial. I will see you in the next one. In the next tutorial, we're going to be covering throws and throw breaking, so I hope to see you then. Bye, guys.